Hello YouTube, this is Matt, and this is the official launch of my new channel, Opinions of a Young Grumpy Old Man. The reason I chose that as the name of my channel is because my wife has told me from time to time that I'm just a grumpy old man. Before I get into anything else on this channel, I do want to lay a few rules down first. I do not mind comments. In fact, I encourage your comments. I'm open to constructive criticism. The thing I do not want is I don't want any personal attacks against me or anybody else who's commented on this channel. If there are personal attacks or personal threats, they will be deleted, and if I deem the threat serious enough, I will report it. I'm not playing. I'm a former detention deputy. I do not take very kindly to any threats against me or anybody else. So yeah, go ahead and comment. If you have any suggestions that would make the channel better, let me know. And the reason I'm messing with my glasses is to make sure I don't have the glare from my computer monitor hitting the glasses. Of course, my computer monitor is a 32-inch TV so that I can watch the Sox game when I'm working. Of course, I have to mute it, but I gotta see my Sox. This will be a weekly. Well, I will be posting videos weekly, at least to start out. I plan on getting a better microphone eventually. The one that I have mounted on a stick right now, basically clamped in place, is a microphone that I inherited from my grandfather. This microphone's almost as old as I am. I remember recording on this thing when my cousin Jason was born, welcoming him to the family. That was in 1977. So yeah, this microphone is ancient, but it's doing fine as long as I don't have the air conditioner in my office running. So let's go ahead and get on with the news. Now, I was flipping through, I don't know if flipping is the right word, I was going to different news sites earlier today, CNN, Fox News, and there were some different things that caught my attention. The first one is definitely pretty funny. I first saw this last night that PETA was wanting to put up a memorial for up to 4,500 lobsters that were killed when a truck overturned. Now, their request to Maine's DOT has been denied for obvious reasons. I mean, come on, they're lobsters. You don't put a memorial up for them. You get a big bowl of lemon butter. You crack the claws. You dip the lobster. I love lobster. Very sweet stuff. Of course, we know how PETA is. They don't like any animals to be harmed. They don't want animals exploited. I have an idea. If they really want a memorial, get a 200-ton granite memorial, carry it off to the Outer Banks where these lobsters were probably caught in pots, and push it over. Why not? Maybe a couple of PETA members will go with it. I've got no use for PETA, folks. Come on. The way they want it, they want everybody to go vegan. They basically want everybody to sit in the middle of a field eating grass. I'll make you this promise. I'll go vegan the day vegetables are made out of meat. How's that? So anyway, I wish I could include these into the video. I don't know how to work my editing software. enough yet to be able to add screenshots or even live screen capture. So anyway, we've got a granite memorial that says, "In memory of the lobsters who suffered and died at this spot, August 2018. Try vegan, PETA." Again, lobsters, I love them. I love lobsters. They're great with butter. Melted butter, lobster, delicious meal. But a memorial? Have we gone that far that we're going to memorialize the creatures that we harvest for food? So let's see. The headline says, quote, well, the report says, quote unquote, Brunswick, WGME, the Maine Department of Transportation has denied a request from the people for the ethical treatment of animals to build a 5-foot tombstone memorial where lobsters may have died after a crash on Route 1 in Brunswick last week. I would imagine that in the minds of PETA, this was like the Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity! They're crawling for the ocean. Oh, it's horrible. It's so horrible. Yeah, PETA special. I honestly think that PETA's short one chromosome. So, moving on. This one was almost humorous until I started reading the story completely. But I went ahead to Fox News to pull this one up. Now, some hackers got in and changed the name of New York City on Snap Maps. I did find that part kind of humorous. What they chose for a name for New York City, on the other hand, no. So, according to Fox News, Snapchat has apologized for a major gaffe that labeled New York City Jewtropolis on Snap Maps, leading users to blast it as racist. The blunder, which is impacting the iOS, Android, and desktop versions of the platform, still hasn't been fixed. Hopefully they get it fixed soon. Now, I'm going to say this. I've got little to no patience for any kind of racist. I don't care if you're Antifa, BLM, KKK, neo-Nazis, white nationalists. I've got no patience for you. I've got no use for you. We're all human. There's one race, the human race. If you don't accept that, too bad. I've got no use for you. In this day and age, we should be able to get along no matter what color your skin is, what nation your ancestors came from. Look, my family's been on this continent since 1620. 2 of my ancestors signed the Mayflower Compact. I don't care if you've been in this country that long, or if your ancestors were slaves freed in 1865, or you came from Italy in 1920. I don't care if you came from Cambodia in 1965. You're an American. Whether you're yellow, black, white, red, green with friggin' purple polka dots. It's about time we drop this racist crap. It's time as a nation we grow up. The left is notorious for wanting to divide us into races, tribes, subsets of every friggin' group. We're adult enough that we shouldn't be dividing ourselves like that. How long are we going to go on with this crap? People don't like whites don't like blacks don't like whites don't like Hispanics don't like whites, and technically Hispanics, at least when I worked for a sheriff's department, we had them labeled as white with Hispanic ethnicity. Sorry, I blanked. So, I'm sorry, Mexicans don't get off as a separate race. Neither do Muslims. Islam is a religion, not a race. If you don't like people, like them because they're dicks. Or dislike them because they're dicks. If you want to hate somebody, hate someone because of the way they act, not the color of their skin. Better yet, why not try to get along with everybody? We're Americans. Whether you're black, white, brown, yellow, I don't care. You're Americans. As long as you're citizens of this country. I don't believe in open borders. We have enough people waiting 10 years to get into this country, going through the proper procedures to become legalized citizens of this country, sneaking across our border between ports of entry, getting caught, and then all of a sudden saying, asylum, asylum. No. You want asylum, go to a port of entry. Don't claim asylum when you get caught. We lock our doors at night to protect to protect everything and everyone inside. When we leave our homes in the morning, we lock the doors to protect everything inside. Letting people just come into this country and automatically become citizens because, hey, they came from South America, they travel thousands of miles, and they slipped across the border in the middle of the night. No. Go through the proper procedure. That's all I'm going to say on that part. As far as the racism on Snapchat, whoever did this, I hope they get caught, and I hope they get punished. Because this crap's uncalled for, folks. We've got to quit dividing ourselves. It's a sorry state of affairs when we still have racists in this country. And for the far left, anybody can be racist, not only whites. So you can get off that soapbox, Antifa. I have no use for Antifa, by the way. Now, this is the 30th of August. We are having memorial services for Senator John McCain. He had served in the Senate for a long time. He had been a prisoner of war and refused to be freed until the other prisoners were freed. You can disagree with John McCain's politics. Some people say that he was a rhino, Republican in name only. Some people thought that he had a tendency to flip-flop. Yeah, I've got to adjust my glasses again. There. All I can say is rest in peace, John McCain. Thank you for your service to this country in the military and in our Senate. You'll be missed. Now, memorial services are going on today, and Sarah Palin, his former running mate, was not invited to the memorial services. Now, to me, this makes no sense, and this report comes off of CNN. I saw a similar report coming off of Fox News. You know, I'm a right-leaning centrist. I prefer Fox News only because CNN has become the propaganda ministry for the far left, as well as MSNBC. I'm not sure which one's worse. They're both pretty bad now. And CNN used to be very respected. I used to watch CNN religiously, man. After 9/11, I was always going to CNN. But when they started to lean hard left, and MSNBC started taking a really hard left turn, they turned me off. Rachel Maddow with her claiming that gays are going to be put in cages, put in camps. Trump never said that. If you look up what Trump said on the campaign trail, he said he will protect our LGBT citizens. He didn't say anything about concentration camps. He didn't say anything about shocking away the gay. He didn't advocate for it. He didn't call for it. It's not going to happen. Now, that's going a little afield. So, Sarah Palin, that's where I was. Sarah Palin was his running mate when McCain ran against Obama in 2008. I was actually in McCain's camp. The only thing that worried me was Sarah Palin as his vice presidential pick. And according to my family's genealogist, Sarah Palin's a distant relation. Still, I really couldn't see Sarah Palin a heartbeat away from the presidency. It's not that she's a woman, it's that she wasn't. What am I trying to say here? She was missing something as a possible president. Her foreign policy was based on the fact that she could see Russia from her backyard. Actually, she couldn't. There's only one island in Alaska that you can just barely see the shores of Russia. And as governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin had never been there. The Inuits living on that island didn't even know who the hell Sarah Palin was. So I can see Russia from my backyard. That doesn't work for foreign policy. Robin Williams, in one of his routines, had said, having San Quentin in my backyard doesn't make me an expert on prison reform. Neither does being able to see Russia from your backyard. But still, I think it's kind of cold-hearted for the McCain family to basically say, well, you were good enough to be his running mate, but you're not good enough to come to the memorial service. I don't know what the fallout was between Sarah Palin and Cindy McCain. So whatever bad blood there is there, it's sad. Now, Sarah Palin had said, quote unquote, from CNN, "Today we lost an American original," Palin tweeted Saturday following McCain's death. Senator John McCain was a maverick and a fighter, never afraid to stand for his beliefs. John never took the easy path in life, and through sacrifice and suffering, he inspired others to serve something greater than self. Maybe she meant than themselves. John McCain was my friend. I will remember the good times. My family and I send prayers for Cindy and the McCain family. So John McCain did serve this country for a very long time. He came from a respected military family. Again, I don't know what prompted the McCain family to decide they didn't want Sarah Palin at the memorial service. Of course, Sarah Palin, being respectful, I guess, didn't show up. Of course, the McCain family also didn't want Trump to come, for obvious reasons. I mean, Donald Trump and John McCain really didn't get along well. There was definitely bad blood between them. And do I try that again? Do I agree with everything Trump says? No, I don't. He makes his gaffes, just like George Bush made his gaffes, and you had Uncle Joe as vice president making his gaffes. So everybody makes their mistakes. I really wish that Trump would not tweet everything so damn much. If he would give Twitter a break for 6 months, you can say more with silence than you can with 30-second sound bites multiple times a day. And you don't have to hit back every time somebody hits you. It's not necessarily take the high road. You can say more with silence. Silence works wonders. Now, moving on to Trump. Now, I did vote for Trump. I am a Trump supporter. I will vote again for him in 2020. I think he has done wonderful things for this country. The accusations against him of him being racist and homophobic and transphobic and this phobic and that phobic, I think it's all bull. The grab him by the pussy remark, personally, that's locker room talk. The way I see it, he was having a candid conversation with somebody who decided to pull a dick move, and in order to get their 20 minutes of fame, they release it to the media. I think what Trump was talking about was basically gold diggers. If anybody doesn't know what a gold digger is a woman who will find a man who's got lots of money, and if he's got enough money, they'll let him do anything he wants to them, no matter how disgusting. I don't think Trump was saying that he went around grabbing women by the pussy. And to be honest, there'd be some out there I wouldn't want to grab. And that's not sexist. There's some mean women out there. Anyway, Trump has recently warned of left-wing violence. This is coming from BBC.com. I don't just pull news from Fox and CNN. I really don't like CNN because, like I said, they're the propaganda ministry for the party of Hillary Clinton. But Trump warns of left-wing violence if Democrats win the midterm elections. I really don't think we'd have to worry about leftist violence if the Democrats win. I think they'd probably riot in the streets celebrating. We'd face a greater risk of violence if the Democrats, which I hope they do, lost. The Democrats only want to continue this path of impeaching 45. Maxine Waters with her impeach 45, impeach 45. Yeah, that's a bad impersonation. They want to pursue this idea of impeaching Trump for anything. The man could jaywalk, and somebody on the hard left of the Democratic Party is going to be demanding that he be impeached for it. Whether it's Waters, Jackson, Pelosi, Feinstein, Comrade Schumer. That's all they're concerned about. They also want to do anything they can to reverse anything Trump has put in place. The left has done everything they can to stand in the way of a man whose only crime was that he beat their golden child. He slaughtered their golden calf. Now, Hillary is the most qualified candidate. The Constitution doesn't state that a presidential candidate has to be qualified. It states that he has to be older than 45 years of age and a natural-born citizen of this country. That's it. That's the only qualification for anybody to become president. 45, natural-born citizen. His crime was beating Hillary Clinton in 2016. Since 2016, we have had what's amounted to the Democratic Party and the leftists having a temper tantrum. We've had the Great Depression, we've had the Great Recession, now we've got the Great Meltdown of 2016. And if the Democrats fail to take the House and Senate, that Great Meltdown is going to continue until 2020. Of course, I predict Trump's going to win in 2020. So, we're going to have the Great Meltdown until 2024. What happens when Pence wins? So, Trump is predicting violence if the Democrats win in the midterm elections. Again, I don't see that happening. I see more risk if the Republicans win, and I hope the Republicans do win. Now, more election news. This one definitely kind of caught me off guard when I heard Tim Pool talking about this. But apparently Ron DeSantis had made a comment on Fox News that the Democrats have latched onto, and CNN in particular has latched onto it, claiming that monkey it up is a racist term. Monkey it up means to screw it up. Now, of course, Andrew Gillum is the Democrat that will be running against DeSantis. Andrew Gillum, sorry if I mispronounced that. Andrew Gillum, the youngest person ever elected, and this is quoting from CNN, CNN.com. Andrew Gillum, the youngest person ever elected to the Tallahassee City Commission and the current mayor of the city, would be the state's first black governor if elected. And then goes on to say, every Sunshine State voter knows this. So why would DeSantis, a Yale and Harvard graduate, make such a well-documented racially charged remark on the opening day of the gubernatorial competition? Now, Ron DeSantis had complimented his opponent. And let me see if I can find the exact statement. Let me go ahead to Fox News for this. And if you search for monkey it up, you'll find all kinds of things in Google. And as a computer technician, Google was always my friend. If you didn't know something, you could try to find it. All right. Let's see. I want to find his exact comment. I don't want to play the audio from the video because I don't want to run afoul of YouTube's policies. Now, what Ron DeSantis had said, after complimenting his candidate, we've got to work hard to make sure we continue Florida going in a good direction. Let's build off the success we've had with Governor Rick Scott. DeSantis, fresh off his Republican primary victory, said on Fox News, America's newsroom, earlier in the day. The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by trying to embrace a socialist agenda with huge tax increases and bankrupting the state. He never once referred to his candidate as a monkey, which would be racist. He was talking about screwing it up by embracing socialist agenda. Monkeying something up is screwing it up, making a mess of it. So, of course, CNN and the left latched onto this real quick to try and paint Ron DeSantis as a racist. And CNN's running with it. They're going to keep running with it. Of course, we're talking about the same news channel which has fallen from being one of the most trusted news channels to practically being a joke. But they want to continue pushing with their story, and sticking behind their story of Lanny Davis having proof that Trump knew in advance of his son meeting with a Russian lawyer. Even though Lanny Davis later came out and said, no, I mischaracterized the facts. So Lanny Davis has taken ownership of that screw up, but CNN is refusing to retract their story. And this is typical for CNN these days. CNN and MSNBC are going to latch on to anything to oppose the man who beat Hillary Clinton, which again is Donald J. Trump's only crime. He beat Clinton. So moving on from that, and I don't want to make this video too much longer, something that I found kind of humorous and disgusting at the same time, but I think typical of a liberal-run city. New York City Housing Authority suspends employees over alleged workplace orgies. Yes. NYCHA employees engaging in workplace orgies. Isn't that the kind of place you want to work? Nothing but booze and sex? It seems like these folks are making a killing and having fun while doing it. Please. So this comes from NewYorkPost.com. And the story states, New York City Housing Authority, NYCHA, officials suspended 2 employees tied to the alleged on-the-clock sex parties at a Bronx housing project. Sources tell the Post. Now, personally, I'd rather these 2 people be fired, but it seems that 30-day suspension is the worst that they can be punished. So the 2 have been sent home without pay for 30 days as the embattled authority investigates charges that the employees at the Throngs Neck houses boozed and got busy in the NYCHA complex. The strongest punishment the authority can levy, and again this is quote unquote from New York Post, the strongest punishment the authority can levy before the investigation is complete, sources added. So these 2 people do still stand a chance of being fired. And personally, if they're guilty of it, if they are innocent until they're proven guilty, if they are guilty of it, by all means fire them. Anybody guilty of wrongdoing, if they've been found guilty, fire them. Or give them whatever punishment is just. So that is about it for today. I'm already at over 30 minutes on this video. I don't know if I'm going to do any trimming when I edit. So I'll go ahead and end it here on the orgy. Fun. If you like what you see, hit the like button. Subscribe, please. Definitely subscribe. Hit the bell icon to receive notification of when I post new videos, which I plan to do every week. I'll probably be doing this on the weekend because I do have a full-time job. And while I'm wanting to try something new, and maybe eventually this will turn out to be a full-time thing, it's not a full-time job right now. I've got bills to pay. I've got work to do. And one thing you will never hear me reference is what company I work for or what capacity I work for them in, because I definitely want to keep work separate from what I do on YouTube. My opinions are my own and do not reflect on the opinions of the company I work for. The only thing I'll say about the company I work for, it's not a bad company to work for. And that's about all I can say, because I'm not going to say who I work for or what I do for. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button or bell icon, whatever. Sounds almost like I'm trying to pimp myself out. Constructive criticism is welcome. If you have any suggestions on what I can do to make this channel better, I'll definitely look at your suggestions. I might try them. Maybe they'll work, maybe they won't. I will post other content on here. I did try a video of me singing in front of the computer. I'm not going to violate your constitutional right against cruel and unusual punishment. Your Sixth Amendment right is safe. I'm not going to torture you guys that way. And as far as yesterday's video with the Reaper paste, I'm going to say this first. It was not a challenge. I don't recommend people just go out and try to down an entire tube of this stuff. I've got a high tolerance to capsaicin because as a detention deputy, I carried CSOC, which is a chemical munition. It's a really strong pepper spray, about 100 million SHU or Scoville heat units, and tear gas. We would occasionally squirt it into styrofoam cups and inhale the fumes coming off of it. Not for pleasure, but to develop a resistance to the tear gas and the pepper spray, because if you're ever in a situation where somebody gets sprayed, there's going to be cross-contamination. And the last thing you want is to end up getting some pepper spray into your eyes and not being able to function with people who have nothing to lose and who have no problem trying to kill you. And the stuff we used to use was Freeze Plus P. So I've got some resistance to pepper spray. And I used to tell people Freeze Plus P turns a tiger into a kitten and goes great on chili. And I'd lick the nozzle of the canister to prove it. You can have allergies to peppers. So if you want to be a pod head, do so. Just be careful. And again, that wasn't a challenge for people to try and do this. I didn't find it that spicy. Now I want to try an actual Reaper or two. And I might put that on camera. May make a fool of myself. Why not? This worked for Ted Barris and LA Beast. I'll tell you this though, almost half a tube of that stuff. This morning I did pay the price with the stomach cramps. That stuff put up a fight coming out. So don't try it out. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Feel free to comment. Like I said at the start of the video, keep your comments civil. Otherwise, you will be deleted. So have a wonderful weekend, and I will post again probably next weekend. And hopefully by then I'll have a new microphone so I can make sure that everything sounds right. Later.